Welcome everybody. Happy Saturday. We've got some big stuff that's happened today, some stuff that's potentially happening today, some stuff that we'll say told you so, and some things that will also kind of give a little bit of a preview of what to expect from some of the guys that we got. And we'll kind of talk about the shall we say the hold on until backup arrives at the Benta goal. Maybe that's how we want to say it, or maybe just go full send. You're the Call of Duty guy.
I always go full send. You know me. Man, you must have had a rough day at work today, man. This is an exciting day. I'm worn out already. Just trying to keep up on the news and what's going on. Things locking in. Double down. We doubled down today, man. Did you even expect that?
No, I was, to be honest with you, like, the Conceicao caught me a little bit off guard. I wasn't expecting that to be done as quickly as it was.
Just like
And
that,
then,
bam.
yeah, and like the verbiage that went into it, I knew Nico was going to be like an arm wrestling match because, like, for example, I understand the necessity of having Nico because you need that veteran winger because Chiesa is out. Chiesa's going to Catalonia, allegedly. But like you kind of need that guy that's that's been in the league, that understands how the league works, right? So that's where I think the target for Gonzalez, and also, like, for example, his contributions over the past couple of seasons in Serie A, like that one was going to, I had a feeling that would have gotten done quicker. I think this was more the lines of the negotiations of how to make Rocco Comiso feel happy, because Rocco was kind of like, yeah, Juve, I'm going to bust your balls. I'm not going to let you get away without paying X amount of dollars for it. So I think that's where
He
that
upped his
went
game.
in, but
He got a few extra mil. Like,
he did.
I don't know. It seems like a lot. You said you don't ever want to spend 40 mil
More than
Fiorentina
40
ever again. So we haven't quite hit that. How do you feel?
So I don't know really how I want to phrase this. I'm more open to it than I was with Chiesa and Dusan. I think when it comes down to it, when I'm looking at it, and Bernadeschi as well, I'm a little bit more open to this one just because of the numbers and the versatility that Gonzalez does, and then just kind of how it fits in with everything that we're doing right now. Because, like, for example, look, Gonzalez has contributed over 20 goal contributions the last 2 years. He's
pretty decent.
He's playing at, I consider it a shithouse style at Argentina, but now that Di Maria is effectively retired, I think now that starting position is Nico Gonzalez's to lose for Argentina. So, he's broken on there as well. It's a veteran guy, but not an old guy, a guy with experience, a guy with still some upside, and a guy with some versatility that's able to, like, for example, you're getting goal contributions with Nico Gonzalez. Two-way player to what Moto wants. Again, he can get goals, he can get assists. It takes, and for me, it takes the stress out of Yildiz. I think it takes the expectation. Like, for example, now that there is another potent option, and I'm not saying that Weah's ass, right? We're not going this route. But now that you have a guy that can shoulder the load or distribute the load, now you're not going to put as much strain, as much pressure on Yildiz. So I think for that, I think it's great. For the Gonzalez thing, I'm good with it. The big thing that I also wanted to touch on is I believe the contract, or the full fee, is payable over 4 to 5 years. So we're gonna amortize the shit out of it.
It's all amortized. And before we go too far down this, we got to reel it back a little bit. There is a lot to talk about. I want to caveat as well that in terms of any of the new signings we have, we are going to do dedicated videos on them. So we're going to get in depth with those specific videos. Here we're going to talk about a bit of the numbers, generally what's going on with them. But for the deep dive, we're going to pump out some 20-minute videos, kind of like the one we did with Kalulu. And man, it's been so long now. We did another one, didn't we?
Well, I mean, we did Kalulu like a week or so ago.
Yeah,
with
I know.
man.
This is, man, I'm getting tired. I can't wait for this to be done. I'm already forgetting.
Yeah, we did one with Mota Ball. The other
Yes,
one
that's
with,
right. Mata one.
we never did one for Douglas Luis, ironically. We never did that.
Oh man, been slacking. Okay, but for Nico
That one's
and for
gone.
Chico, or Cisco, I'm calling him Cisco.
The Cisco Kid. That's this channel's nickname for Conceicao. We're gonna call him the Cisco Kid.
We have nicknames for everyone.
We have nicknames for everybody.
Yeah, but before we go on, first off, Mohammed Jana, I believe. Let me know if I'm pronouncing that right. But Forza Juve from Sierra Leone. That
is a new.
That's crazy. Yeah, Sierra Leone. I would not have expected that. That's cool. So thank you very much. A country I don't think very many of us have even like been in the realm of. So that's a deep cut. I love it. Since we are all here, we're all rolling in. Thank you very much. Please like, please subscribe. And also, I just got permission from the subreddit of Juve. We are now posting. I'm just going to show it here real quick. We are on the Juve Reddit. I've been kind of lingering around the Reddit for a little bit. It's actually got some pretty and some nice looking ladies too, apparently. Random mats, but yeah. So we are now on the Juve subreddit. So that's just another way you can catch up on things that we're doing. I got to scroll down a bit because again, so much came out today. I don't know. I'm somewhere in this list. I swear I posted, but we're down there. Our Juve. That's one way. Twitter, Instagram, and of course the Discord. Those are all the ways to get a hold of us. Of course, here on YouTube and Spotify. I'm just ripping the audio for Spotify just because of the amount of time it takes to do the video. I want to get the audio as quick.
Yeah, you want the video? Just watch on YouTube.
Yeah, I can get the audio out in minutes, and the video takes like a couple hours. So, and for how long it takes, I'm just getting the audio out there. And yeah, come on YouTube. That is everything, guys. Everything is down in the description. It's in our graphics. If you can't find us, just message us. We will show you exactly how to get there. So without further ado, what do we start with Verona?
We got a question from Eddie. What does the yellow icon next to my name mean? That's I believe Carr purchased memberships for some folks in the chat, and you are officially a member.
You're a member for at least a month. Pay up if you want to continue. Yeah, as low as 99 cents, guys, to become a member, just to help us out. When we do release the videos, like what we're going to do with Nico and Cisco, you guys will just get it right away as soon as it's ready, and then everyone else gets it whenever the YouTube algorithm deems it's most appropriate to upload a video, which is usually like 7 a.m. or something. So
yeah, and if you want notifications for when videos come out, more reliable source is our Discord. So Dave always puts the video as it's going out, and it is going to be in the YouTube Spotify channel of our Discord channel, and you'll get live to date notifications on whether or not we post something, go live, etc. Because sometimes YouTube with the notifications is terrible.
It can be. Yeah, the Discord one actually works. It's how I know that I'm supposed to hit live, because Discord pings me. It is the most reliable method. I understand not everyone is in the Discord, but man, I'm telling you, Sal, he's been working overtime today with all the news coming in. Just the guys.
It's a very active community, guys. Like, for example, I mean, there's a bunch of different topics you can talk on in the threads or the channels. But like, for example, Sal does the Lord's work in the Discord, where he's able to post all the news articles and also gives anything when there's money involved. Sal's the whiz when it comes to that. So Sal definitely hops on for these on Saturdays, but Sal is a little bit busy, so we got no Sal this weekend.
He is. And I just noticed this. Oscar just posted. This is the fun stuff that we have. So I'm actually wearing the Allegri version of the shirt right now. So it looks like he made a Gentoli graphic for it. So awesome. I love it. We have fun, guys. This is amazing. I love it. Okay. We've waffled a bit. We definitely need to get into some of this.
Yes, we need to talk about the conception, or Conceicao.
Conceicao. Is that where we're starting?
Yeah, we'll go with Conceicao. We touched on Nico Gonzalez. Again, it's a great move it's market value for the contributions. When it comes to the actual breakdown and statistics and numbers, we'll do that in a separate video. Don't
I'm
want to sit
excited
you
for
here for
this
like
one.
20 minutes. That one's going to be good. You want to talk about Conceicao's numbers as far as like what we paid or the amount that we had to put in to invest in the weird little stipulation in his clause, where I call this move the loan with obligation, but not really an obligation.
This is probably the most confusing. I still haven't completely wrapped my head around it. So this is what we have, and I'll tell you where the numbers aren't for sure yet. Let's say so 7 million for the loan plus 2 bonuses. Now of that 7 mil, that's including his wages as well. So yeah, 7 mil is kind of a hefty loan, but when you put that in consideration, not so bad. Now he has the option to purchase outright for 30 million by July 15th, 25. After that, it goes to 45 million. So there's actually a release clause tied into this. Now, where I'm hung up is it 7 plus 2 plus 30? Or is it going to be like 7 plus 2 plus 21, a formula like that? That has not been clearly dictated yet. I'm hoping in the next couple days, as things become like official, that is cleared up for us.
However, from what I've interpreted from it, is that Juve will have like the first go at that clause, right? So, like for example, if he pops off, gets 15 goals, 10 assists this season, like Juve will have first dibs to trigger that clause, is what I'm interpreting that as. I'm not too sure, but I believe that Juve would have first dibs to make that purchase, and
That's what
there's
it
nothing
sounds
that,
like.
and there's nothing Porto can do. Like it is there. Kind of a little bit of a brief thing about the Conception or Cisco kid. Outside of Jeremy Doku, he is the second best dribbler in Europe currently, and that list, because
And
I'll
what do
show
you
it to
think
you
too?
guys.
That's a Man City player. When we're getting a winger, that's pretty much at parity with a Man City winger. That's pretty good.
It's well, I mean, the list is actually quite the juicy list of players here. So if you guys just want to bear with me real quick here. This list consists of Jeremy Doku, Cisco, Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, Ousmane Dembele, Michael Olise, Kalmadine, Suleimana, and then we've got Kenko, Vinny, and then Bah, and then Kingsley Coman.
You know what? Since Southampton's up there, did you hear about Charlie Alcaraz?
Where'd he go?
Flamingo with another one of our stars, Alexandro. So remember how we paid like 6 mil loan and it was going to be like another 42 to buy him out. It was almost like 50 mil, 46, 48 mil. I can't remember the exact number. He left to Flamingo for 17 mil. So bullet dodged. It's just wild. That whole deal, that was the one thing last year that made us question Gintoli and if like this guy was gonna do all right. Clearly, things have changed in recent hours. Even, I mean, this guy's cooking off. Everyone's even the WhatsApp. So Juventus has a WhatsApp chat. I mean, anybody can join it if you want, but they did just put an emoji of a chef today.
They did.
So clearly things are cooking off, and that's what we're all about. There is now 6 days, effectively 5 days left. Yeah, because I mean everyone's in bed now in Italy, so 5 days left. The transfer market. 2 more names, allegedly 2 more names. So we got Cisco, we got Nico.
Now it's Coop and Jaden.
Coop and Jaden Sancho. Now, Coop, everyone's just like, come on, Coop, just come. I mean, everyone, like just free come. Coop hashtags, bring us Coop here, 10 toes down. Everyone wants Coop. We're sitting at what looks like 59 million currently of the requested 60. Like, that's a lot. Yeah, like at 59 million. This is 100% Percassi. I don't even know if it's so much Percassi. He was the guy that's kind of been trying to make the money. He's one of the owners of Atalanta. But as it stands now, like they're just sandbagging us. And we've said this too, right? Like, oh, when's Coop coming? When's Coop? Probably Friday. Maybe like a Wednesday. I
think we're on par with what we were expecting last 2 days of the market. Last 2 days of the market.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
there's no way he comes sooner. No way he comes sooner. I think Atalanta are going to drag it out as long as they possibly can. And that's where it is, right? Like, I think one of the reasons, and don't be surprised, I think the reason why Nico kind of got dropped so early is I wholeheartedly expect Kostic or Artur or both to go in the other direction.
I haven't seen this connection. Gaetano saying, I've read comments from people that Conceicao was similar to Giovinco. Is that true? Giovinco was more of a 10, wasn't he? Or am I just thinking of his like Toronto days?
Well, I mean, Mighty Mouse, because they're both kind of small. But I don't know. Like, for example, I don't have an issue with this move with the current situation that we were in. I think it's fine. 10 million, figure out what he is, how he is, and it might be plus 20 to keep him if he does well, or plus 30, etc. Because if he pops off, and which I think he will, because Mota's system will give him a lot of 1v1 opportunities with the isolations on the wings. If he cooks and does pretty damn well, 30 million is going to be a steal to buy him outright.
Mm-hmm. So now Berardi was mentioned. I mentioned him in the Discord as well today. It did pop up.
That's just Gazzetta trolling. I don't think there's any merit to that.
That was Gazzetta dello Sport. A report did come out later that we weren't even thinking about him. He's not even healthy.
No, he's not even playing.
So that's we're not getting Berardi, it looks like. Just put that one aside. It would probably be cheap. It might be very club friendly, but at the end of the day,
5 to 10. The dude just got back from Achilles injury.
Yeah, we're trying to avoid guys coming back from Achilles. We know how that turns out. And now he'd be playing at the Olimpico. I mean, no. And not that he won't be this year anyways in Serie B, but if he comes with us, he will have the chance to wreck it all over again. Yeah. They will claim at least one, the Olimpico, this year.
It always claims one, unfortunately. It always claims one.
Mm-hmm. Luckily, when we play Roma next weekend, it is at home. So if they take one of our ACLs, it will be later in the season.
That is true. Towards the end. Hopefully no one important is playing at that point. Or it happens before that game. So you want to know, I thought it was funny because, there was a player that was not on that list that I have that people on the internet berate his phenomenal dribbling ability.
Sorry, I was reading comments. You were talking about Cisco, sir. Sorry, I was trying to go. Sorry,
I was saying it was funny because I looked at that list and I didn't see a certain dribbler that people.
Oh, Chiesa, yes, of course.
Which I find that ironic because I thought that's his staple of being a successful dribbler, but he is not. But I kind of wanted to touch on this because I called this and I said this Wednesday, and it's funny because it happened. So if you watched our show Thursday, not Wednesday. If you watched us on Thursday, when the Barcelona links to Chiesa first came out, I said that Barcelona are not going to keep him long term. I think Barcelona are going to use him as a buffer to get Nico Williams. And some of the Chiesa, it's alleged, but so some of the reports, and I saw this from Nico Chiesa, he said that Barcelona are offering him no more than 3 years on the contract for the transfer.
That's healthy. That's healthy though. Still 3 years.
Yeah, it gives them time to try to get Nico Williams because they couldn't get him this summer, but it'll give Barcelona an out too. So, for example, next season, Chiesa only have 2 years left on his deal, so he'll be easier to move if they do get Nico Williams. Then, if they don't get him next summer, it'll be then at that point. So, I just again
follow
that again, perk your ears up, Chiesa stands, but even Barcelona don't want to give him a 5-year contract.
Well, if you think about it too, so he's turning 27 this year, 3 years, that puts him at 30. That's just smart business. Because once you hit 30, I mean, we both, I know it.
No, I know.
I don't disagree with you there.
But again, that tells you what his equity's at.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's where it is. So
Yeah, I'm all for it.
look, I'm glad that it's another club that has that same kind of valuation. And again, 4+2 with he has to base. It just this whole situation's ironic. I just find that whole situation ironic, and I think now because Barcelona is confident that they're going to close the deal at 10+3, so we can finally just put this kid to bed and move on because we have a much better offense now that he is gone.
I wonder where they actually
But this
settle.
does open kind of a couple. It's got to be 10+3.
You think it's sitting at 10 plus
Juve
3?
want
It's
50.
not gonna. They want to move him on.
Oh,
Definitely.
I
I
think
wouldn't
they
be
want to.
surprised if it's like an 11+3 or something. Just like squeeze a little bit more. We'll see though.
Something stupid, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much moving on the way, but this opens up an interesting conversation now, right? Because let's say, because again, Jadon Sancho and Coop are both on the docket because originally the plan was to have one winger purchased, another one as a loan, and then another one with an obligation, right?
Mhm.
So Cisco is the loan. I would say Nico Gonzalez is the purchase because he's being purchased, and then Jadon Sancho is kind of like the option / obligation to buy. That brings something very interesting. So when you look at your offense from the wing perspective, you have Kenan Yildiz, Nico Gonzalez, Cisco, and Sancho. That's 4. And then Timmy Weah, which is the 5th option.
Yeah. And then the
That
question does come in: does Yildiz stay on the wings? Does he move as a 10, swapping out with Coop, perhaps? Once all these pieces are in place, we might even see a little bit of a change of who might be starting or rotating through, or even a formation change. Like that, nothing's really locked in, and that's what I'm interested to see as well.
I'm for it. To be honest with you, I'm for this room to be this way because it's a
Mhm.
competition. Because, like for example, Yildiz, you got the 10, but you're not guaranteed to start, homeboy. You gotta put numbers out there. You gotta do stuff. The only position I wish we had more competition for was the 9, but unfortunately we don't. But
That's the
that
problem.
that winger room right now is going to be, especially if Sancho comes in, the competition for minutes is going to be insane.
But there's
Even
going to
if
be
Jay,
lots of minutes, so it's good. That's what we need.
no, for sure,
Perfect.
but like they're going to be gunning for it.
I hope so,
Like,
and hopefully not getting injured in the process.
no, I understand. It's again for me the only issue this entire market. The only issue that I've had is there wasn't a true like backup signing to the 9 that could potentially push Juice on or challenge Juice on.
And this is why I've tossed around almost like half-heartedly with it, but I kind of believe it more and more where we play some sort of version of a false 9 because I mean, if Milik's going to be injured and Vlahovic can't play every single minute, and we're going to have some weird like Yildiz or Coop play in the slot and just like the wingers cook off. I don't know how this, if we don't get another 9, I just don't know how we go this 51 plus game season without being creative, like some sort of creativity in that sense, you know?
Yeah, well, right now I think this is one of the more interesting. I mean, it's a good problem to have.
Mm-hmm. What do you think
I,
about this comment from Reno? One of the problems with Coop is that he will do the same thing to Juve when he decides to move on. I'm not completely convinced.
here's my counter argument to him. So say that Coop signs for a 5-year deal. So what's Coop right now? 27, 28 years old?
Believe so. I'll verify.
So by the time he gets towards the end like that, I don't think that's going to be an issue. And also Juve don't hold players hostage. Juve have a track record of not doing that. Juve have always kind of have that policy. If you want to leave, you can leave. We're not gonna, I don't think there's ever been an instance where Juve has like, even like for example, yeah, it might be the old regimes and stuff like that. But even like with Pogba, right? Pogba wanted to go to Man United. Juve's like, hey man, go for it.
They're paying
I do.
people to leave. Like they're trying to get rid of DeShilio right now. They may give him a severance. They gave a severance to Tech.
Yeah. So when it comes to Coop, to answer this question, he's going to be 31 at the end of 5 years. I think the only time someone will really ask for him is going to be like, for example, you look at it like a Real Madrid or a PSG or a higher financially solvent club.
In which
Air
case
quotes,
we
right?
would, likely make some money,
Cash
or
in.
at least make our money
Juve
back.
Juve would like, because here's the difference between Juve and like Atalanta and Fiorentina, right? Like Juve are like, okay, cool. If we lose a guy, we'll just replace him, right? So like for example, Ronaldo wanted to leave. Yeah, fine, go to Man United,
Yeah, he just did it like
right?
a dick.
You just did it like a dick, right? I'm not concerned that they will hold us hostage. I don't think that's ever really going to be an issue, because especially right now with the depth, the way that they're building, that Gentoli and Malta are building this team, it's like, dude, next man up. Like that's one of the things that Malta has been really, really dead set on is, hey, meritocracy, and if you don't perform, there's another guy that's going to come in and perform. And also, as LJJ says, we didn't hold the lid either, even though Juve didn't want to sell them. They sold them. It is what it is. So I'm not too concerned.
Another bullet dodged. Oh man, we actually, I was excited when he came. We spent way too much money on him, but that was the market back then. That was pre-COVID days, right? Things were crazy. We got our next great defender to be under the tutelage of Chiellini and to some extent Bonucci and all the old timers. And he's gone, and nobody wants him. And
yeah, I wouldn't. To be honest, to be honest with you guys, I wouldn't worry too much on it. I don't see players, like, if anything, it's us getting them to leave, right? As Dave said, that's going to be the issue, is us getting them to leave. And then you want to know how you prevent that? By not giving outrageous contracts to like a certain number 9 on our team, who apparently, oh my goodness, I don't even want to talk about the Man City game today. I watched Man City today, and I'm just like, good Lord, our guy gets paid more than Haaland and can't do half the shit that he does. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it's our last really bad contract, especially if you do get.
It is.
Not that DeShilly was a bad contract, but I mean, you get rid of the fluff, essentially.
It's barely anything.
Yeah, 1.5.
Though that's going to be an interesting, like, for example, I'll touch briefly on Dusan. When he has the plethora of weapons around him that he does now, if he does not somehow find a way beyond 30 goal contributions this year, is that not a failure?
If he's surrounded by Yildiz, Conceicao, Coop Miners, what's your excuse? Like, honestly, or any of the rotational players in that list, like, he has the supporting cast. Not to mention, now, if assuming everyone's healthy, you have Thuram in there, you have Douglas Luiz, you might have a Fajoli, a Locatelli off the back. Like, you actually have people coming in that can provide that service out to the wings, as well as Kalulu. I mean, we talked about that, how he can feed into the midfield, who can feed out to like, everything is coming together. I'm getting excited.
Everything will work. It's just he needs to be able to convert, because, like, for example, I look at it, and I was watching today, right? Like, Haaland steals the ball from a center back, shoots it from outside the box, and hits it bottom corner, like laces it. And it's like, here we're like celebrating if Dusan does off the ball movement.
Yeah, that is true. We're trying to find the little.
And the problem is, and this is where, like, for example, Vlad's here, but this is where I have a tough pill to swallow about this whole situation, guys, is because
before you swallow,
you just wake up and then your heart is just pumping. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, so those moments are crazy.
Yeah, Lukaku did sign for Napoli, so watch out. They're going to cook now. No, I'm just kidding. When Haaland's base salary is 19.5 million a season and Dusan's is 22, and I'm not seeing that level of production, or, like, for example, if you look at Haaland's shots today, he had 5 out of 7 that were on target. And then out of because one's a pen, so it's kind of, but out of the 5, you take one out because of the pen. He was 3 for 4 on shots on target. 3 in,
75%
conversion rate on shots on target.
Not bad. Not bad. I mean, it is Haaland. Yes, if you're talking about just strictly salary, the wages, all that stuff, it's not fair, though, honestly. Just, he's not at that level.
Because another guy Haaland had...
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just for me. I think Dusan might just be a jag, just another guy. But put Dusan on this, he would be similar. Holland disappears in big games. Yeah, but Holland also dropped 40 his first season.
Yeah, I still think Holland is significantly better.
I
I mean,
think
that's up to debate. Yeah, put Dusan in there. Who knows? Maybe it does work out
well,
because
this
Man
is
City's
this is a proper comp this season, right? You have a free flowing offense, high pressing offense. This is the comp. But my issue again is just like I need to see him take those steps forward in his game because last season a bulk of his goals were scored in the month of January when we decided to beat teams 3-4-0. He was scoring braces and scoring goals in January, and then from September to like what? Late November, December, ice cold, and then from March till the end of the season, ice cold. So I need that consistency because, like, for example, last season, Holland had an off season, and then he's already opened the season in 2 games, and he's already got 4. He's got a hat trick this game, a goal the opening game. So
yeah, of course it's Man City though, but like you said, this team, this UA team is what it looks
I
like.
understand. But what's the issue? What's going to be the excuse this season if he doesn't perform?
There isn't going to be an excuse. If he doesn't do it this season, he's got to go. It's that simple. Just wages, performance, he just has to go regardless. And we need to splash the money at that point on number 9s again. Not to mention, like, I mean, you still haven't bought an actual right back. We're using Savona, Danilo's,
Cambiasso and Kalu.
Yeah, but again, they're. What position are those guys really? That's kind of what I'm saying.
Yeah, somebody made a comment. I don't want to steal their credit here, but someone made a comment earlier about it where they're like, "Is Cambiasso still going to be in the winger room now?"
That's also a good. Yeah. So then, if he does go back to fullback, which I mean, to have him on at a fullback is still very exciting.
Is a rotation, with a rotation of Cabal, Cambiasso, Kalu. Or Kalulu and Savona, I don't think that's a bad rotation.
It's not bad. I'll have to see. Like, I'm very surprised
Danilo
that,
as well. Danilo as well. I forgot.
Yeah, it's not bad. I'm just surprised that. I mean, Savona's on the young end of the spectrum. Obviously, Danilo on the old end. We'll see. Like Savona. I mean, I'm behind him. If this kid cooks off, absolutely. Then we got
you need a young. Yeah, you need a young person to grow into the role as your third or fourth option. Because, like, again, just kind of following up with the comment that just came in about Danilo being out, I think Danilo's on his way out.
And this might be his last year. Yeah, they're keeping him around for that, like that probably transition. That locker room aura, that captaincy. You need that veterancy in general, that the old timer just to be there to steady the ship. But if Mata gets this team and Gentoli, everyone, the management gets this team just clicking, they don't need that old timer there anymore because they have each other. So again, if it works out, if these guys cook off this year, and I'm here, maybe it's just this beginning of the season, this positivity. We always have this positivity right at the beginning. We had a very great first game. Could have been 5-0, it was 3-0, whatever. Now picking up Cisco and Nico, Coop on the docket, maybe Sancho. Like, this is I'm gonna come.
So I do want to clarify though. Danilo does have like a contusion on the bottom of his foot. Like, he's actually hurt. So like I don't want people to have like he's being benched right now. Like, Danilo does actually have a foot injury.
They might have made that up too. Like, what's the contusion on the foot?
You know how you have plantar fasciitis sometimes. Like, that's probably what.
Yeah, it doesn't stop me from doing things.
Okay, I'm sorry, Dave. No one's built like you.
I'm just not completely convinced. I'm not saying that it isn't true, but I question it. Yeah, Vlad's not sold by
Santos, can you get me? I mean, you don't have to. He's the fourth/fifth option. You don't need to be sold by him.
We'll see. I mean, and if not, then we sell him for a few million to like a Genoa or something. Who knows next year?
He becomes like Noje, where you loan it to Hull City because he did get loaned to Hull City today. Like, he becomes like a Noje, or he becomes like a Sam Illing, or he becomes like a Bernachea that you flip for 5 to 10 million.
Illing's coming back to sort of
Where's he going?
Oh man, I'm trying to remember. I read one report. If somebody remembers, I want to say it's like Genoa or something.
You don't remember when folks were saying that guy, we're going to regret letting him go. He's an amazing talent, and Allegri was an idiot for not playing him.
He wasn't, though. Like he had his moments. He had zero defense.
Bologna. The chat's telling
Bologna.
you.
Bologna.
Sandro
Yes,
is
and I
going to
always get
Bologna.
Genoa and Bologna mixed up because they're the lunch meats. Sorry. But thank you, LJJ and Jeff. Oh man. That being said, we've been 36 minutes. It's the call-in show. I gotta get the link.
No, yeah. Noje went to Hull City today. It was a just a straight loan to Hull City, and then Haas I think went to Palermo for $5 million.
Was it Palermo?
Yeah, he went to Palermo, I believe.
Yeah. Again, all these there's so many outgoings. That's the crazy thing. We're gonna actually have to write these down and go over them on Friday. We might. I don't know if you're available. I have Friday off on the weekend, so I might do a deadline show with or without you. Join if you want. Maybe we'll do it a call in. But yeah, we're gonna recap everything because man, the list. We did the list on Thursday, and it was 8 players just in August that we moved on. Which is insane. Now we're at like 10, 11.
Oh, Tentos is in Discord? I didn't even know he was in there.
Are you?
Oh, I got you. I got it. It's a different name. Suave.
That's you this whole time. I didn't know.
That's you?
Okay, different names. Yeah.
I was like sitting there. I'm like, do I know this Suave guy? I mean, he looks suave, but I've never seen him on the actual like streams. Now that's a suave way to be incognito.
Okay, let's look at this article then and see what it says.
Yeah,
He has.
You want me to share it, or are you going to share it?
I got it. It's right here. Right. So, small text. There we go. Tutor Sport reports that the contract of Juventus captain Danilo includes the option to renew his deal for one more season. The Brazilian international has an existing deal with the Bianconeri that runs until 25, but there's been no talk of an extension yet. So he's tied until June 30th, 25.
Oh, he's gone next summer.
And
he's gone next summer. Oh, he's gone next summer. Oh.
Has a clause in his existing contract for automatic renewal for an additional season if the South American defender were to play 50% of the matches in the next season. Hence, perhaps
he gone
benched. Oh,
he gone.
That's a good link. Thank you for sending that.
That is a very good link. Mm-hmm. Very suave of you.
There you go. Jeff, how's it going?
Oh, it's pretty good. Pretty good. Just
Jeff, were you tanning today? Or you
I don't know.
You're really shiny.
I think it's from the light. It's a headlamp. That's why.
It's like your forehead is glistening.
Yeah. So you see, it's just a lamp. That's what it is. And it's a background. Yeah, obviously, because my second room looks like crap. So
can we get some likes for Jeff's forehead glistening?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, subscribe for Jeff's forehead.
For sure. Do it like for the maximum of likes. How he says
that's trademark. That's a trademark.
But yeah.
All right, Jeff, what do you want to talk about?
I had this really wild idea for the Vice Vlahovic. I have a prediction thinking that Kenan Yildiz might be utilized the way that Jonathan Xerxes in Bologna was utilized.
That's spicy. That's spicy.
And I have because I think, here's the thing. Another thing I've noticed with Kenan, I feel like he's a better 10. He plays better as a 10 than he would as a winger. Now, regardless, I do think Cope Miners will take that spot because I do see him coming. I don't see Cope Miners not coming, but in the moments where like Dusan is injured, knock on wood, he doesn't, but it could happen. I feel like he could take the role of the false 9.
So you believe in this false 9 idea?
For Kenan only.
Okay. It's a spicy boy.
And
take.
First time in.
Regardless, I do think it could happen. Will take that spot.
You got to mute us.
I do see him coming. I don't see.
You good?
You got us playing in the background.
Yep.
Not you, Jeff. Not you.
Yeah,
no. Good. It's okay. I mean, this happens. We'll figure this out. Eddie, do you hear us? You linked in?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
You're good. You're good now.
In.
Perfect.
First time caller.
Hey, what's up?
Long time listener, first time caller.
About a month now.
About a month?
Yeah, I stumbled upon you guys.
That's
maybe about a month ago. Yeah, but I did meet Kevin from Touring Giants and
Oh,
I think it was the Sassuolo match 2 seasons
Okay.
ago.
Nice. Yeah, unfortunately,
Wow,
he has
ago.
moved back to the States, so he's not out there anymore.
Yeah, that's horrible. I
Yeah.
feel bad for him.
Yeah, I guess he's keeping the apartment, so he'll make his way back. But no, he's just a dirty Yank again. So.
All right.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Absolutely. Okay, so yeah, on that, let's talk about because I've mentioned it. I just think I'm crazy talking about a false nine. Eddie, what do you think about this possible false nine with Yildiz?
I mean, he's a good player, but I think he's way more versatile. Outside the front, he could dribble. He could create chances. I think he's kind of like we're kind of dumbing his skills down if we keep him way up front like that.
Yeah, but what's our options? I think it comes down to like what happens if we don't have Milik or Dusan.
I was big on bringing Pinamonte in here. I don't know why we didn't go after him.
Yeah, there's nothing on him at all.
Yeah, he scored a goal for Genoa today, and they got him pretty cheap. We want to get this Calamundo guy for like $25 million. I think they wound up getting Pinamonte for only a $2 million loan.
Yeah, that's true. But I think the other thing, because we also have to also take into account because Nico Gonzalez has also played the 9 for Fiorentina as well, kind of what Tentos is saying here.
It's a good point.
And and there isn't like there's no trust in Milik. Part of me is sitting there thinking like maybe they haven't chased for a 9 is because they're expecting that entire front line to be able to rotate and play in multiple positions. I think that's one of the things that I might be thinking of right now.
I'm also starting to recognize that this new age of playing is there. It's happening as a means of like players needing to be versatile for a lot of reasons, for value, and for another reason also is for like depth. So as a means of saying, hey, look, we don't have a big roster, so we're gonna have players playing multiple positions just in case another person gets injured. That's the only reason why I put the Xerxes false 9 narrative with Kenan, because I just think that he plays he's much better in the center than he is on the wing. Not that he can't play bad on the wing. I just think he's really good in the center. That's just the way I see that with Kenan Yildiz. I'm not saying he would play it all the time. I'm just saying in like some certain circumstances, I could see Malta going with that particular role.
I think to build off your point, there's like 3 options you could play there, right? You've got Yildiz, you have Weah, who's also played there as well, and you also have Nico Gonzalez. You have 3 options that can occupy that role. In the event that, because Milik, from a health standpoint, I don't think he is reliable, and I don't think it's like, for example, and I don't mean it as a negative sense towards Milik, right? But the issue is, like, for example, Dusan's one Plubleja issue again from not being consistently playing on the field. So we'll see how that works. But Vlad says my hot take: Sancho is totally not needed.
Okay, let's
I have a hard time.
I agree with that one fully, especially at that price. I don't understand now, like, why we would bring him in with that kind of price and wages when, in my opinion, he's definitely below Yildiz and now Nico Gonzalez on the pecking order, and possibly even Conceicao if he winds up becoming good. And then you still got, Weah and Cambiaso out there.
Yeah, and that's where
either.
I don't know where he would play.
I don't care if he comes or doesn't. I just think it's more like I just think he has more experience than all of them, like maybe except for Nico Gonzalez. I think he is a good player. I'm not excited about it. I'm not like, oh God. To be honest with you, out of all the wingers, the player that I was most excited is Conceicao. I see a lot of potential in that player. Like I watched him in the Euro 2024 with Portugal. Like I saw some fire. Like I think that guy can do really well.
I think to really put like Jaden to bed, essentially, I think that's going to be like, for example, because I think his salary is what, 10 million a season at Man United. So I think if the only way that this works is if like Man United's like, all right, fuck it, we'll pay like 6 or 7 of it, and Juve can pay the difference, and then
it's reported
it'll be a loan with an option.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like. How much though? it would have to at least be 5 minimum, like half the wages. I don't know. Like, it's do they just want to get rid of him? Is this what Manchester does just to get rid of players? Like, we just
I don't know if it's Man United, if it's Ten Hag.
Yeah, more so
particularly that. Another thing I wanted to point out, though, I would say probably why they're going to do this is because I think we do need more players. It is still the depth because we are competing also for the Club World Cup. Mm-hmm. Which could also, like, more competitions means more like chances of injury. So yes, you could use a guy like Jadon Sancho to come in and, use some of the other younger players rotational. So there's a lot of things you can do. That's really all what it comes down to.
Now there's a lot of just Sancho hate though as a player. Not even just the numbers. People just seem to not like him. He's had some ups and downs through the years. Overall, I don't know. I remember when he was originally cooking off at Dortmund, and he was a very exciting prospect. Is this a classic case of Manchester ruining a player? But like he's gone back to Dortmund. Like, why is it that people don't like Sancho from a footballing perspective?
For me personally, I don't like his personality. He's a well-known head case, and much like every other player from England, as soon as you score one goal in the EPL, you're automatically elevated to like world-class status. He's just like one of these media hype type guys, like almost every single player, you could go back to, 2021 Euro when they said Italy had no stars. That's basically because they didn't play except for Jorginho and Emerson. That was it. They never apparently heard of, Bonucci, Chiellini, Immobile, like it's basically facts. Anyone who plays for that team under that flag is an automatic superstar.
Look, I kind of my take with Sancho is I would like to see him at Juve as an experiment, but only as a loan, just to see if it's his personality or if it's just Man United, just a shit house of a club, a disgrace of a club that they just destroy players. I would like to see that. That does pique my curiosity. I would like to see it. I do think he's talented.
It's just that club is just a really peculiar situation, right? Because for example, you've got players that go in there, come in, for example, they're touted as really, really well. They go there and they just don't play well. For example, I still remember when Di Maria went over there and just stunk. And then he went to PSG and then it was the same Di Maria again. I don't know. Part of me sits there and thinks Man United is just this void of just epitome and just ass.
The void.
You do got a point there. Because let's not forget what happened with Pogba once he went back there.
Yeah. I agree with you, Jeff. I think that would be interesting just from the social experiment angle, right? Just to see how it would play out. Just like it's an interesting social experiment if we were to swap Haaland and Dusan to see what would happen.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Haaland dominates. I just think he's way better than Dusan. I'm not saying he's I don't want to overrate him. I just think
he's got more presence in the box.
Haaland has. He can take his chances way more, and he's got a better first touch.
Haaland just has a better box presence. He made Cucurella look like an absolute bitch 2 weeks ago.
Most people do, though.
Well, that's fair, but still, Cucurella made that song taunting him, and then Haaland's presence, when you're that kind of guy, you need to strike fear in the hearts of defenders. Where I think Haaland can do that, but Dusan, to me, I see defenders not really afraid of him. For example, with Haaland, you can tell, hey, we got to put 2 or 3 guys on this guy because this guy's a fucking animal. Where it's with Dusan, it's just you
just got to piss him off. You have to piss him off and get him in his head.
Yeah, it's just put one guy on him. That's where I don't know. I'm hoping that changes. For example, I think for Dusan to really pop off this year, have the confidence to take those one-on-one opportunities and just put the ball in the fucking back of the net. Stop doing this stupid placement thing because, for example, the one where oh, hey, the defender made a 1 in a million block to deflect the ball to go off the post. You want to know what stops that 1 in a million block? If he just hit it near post like any striker with common sense.
I think though with Dusan, I have my prediction with him. I think he improves. I think he will score a lot of goals. It wasn't okay. The game with Como was a mixed feeling, but I was a bit optimistic still. Regardless, I was a little optimistic about it because I feel like if the midfield can coincide and work well, and like create chances for him, I think that will also better him because the more chances he gives and the more chances he's going to try to keep going and going and going, he will evidently improve as a player because then now he's going to score more goals because they're going to be given more chances. I do think he will score a lot more goals. And hopefully if he does make that 25 goal a season mark, we could probably sell him.
Here's my take. If Dusan hits above 30 goal contributions this season, Juve wins the Scudetto.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I would say so.
If him solo him, because that's not even factoring all the other weapons around him. I'm saying him individually. If he goes beyond 30 goal contributions, Juve win the Scudetto hands down.
How much is the Capo Cannoniere getting this year?
I don't know, and I don't care.
Because at 30, I mean that's in contention.
I mean, that's goal contributions, Dave. Like he could be like 25 and 10.
Oh, just contributions in general.
That's what I'm saying. Just contributions in general.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's a little bit more reserved. I thought you're just like 30. He's getting 30. No.
Right. I'm not saying he's getting 30 goals. No,
just hypothetical.
I'm saying like contributions, like just assists and goals. The reason why I'm saying that is because he becomes that focal point in your offense, and then everyone else gets their own fair share of food too. That's why I'm putting that on there. So if he's able to get 30 goal contributions, I have no issue seeing Juve potentially win the Scudetto with that one. Because, I mean, look at Lautaro. Lautaro, I think, went close to 30, if not went above 30. And look what Inter did offensively last season.
For sure.
It's getting more than Lautaro from Dahl. Let's hope so. Cringy ass fuck.
Well, Lautaro's like starting it off bad anyways. He already got injured, so. And Inter was okay, but again, it's the beginning of the season, so I can't say much.
And both Milan teams are struggling right now.
Milan shit the bed today again also.
Yeah. I celebrated. I laughed. It was a good laugh for me. I enjoyed it to the fullest.
I need Inter to lose, though.
Albanian coffee shop.
I need Inter to lose more. Like, it's nice if Milan loses, but I'm not like excited if they lose. Whereas Inter, I get excited when they lose. But
I like to see my friends stress. So that's always all my friends that are with Inter. Like, I want them to stress, and I enjoy it.
They did play Lecce today, who has not put anything up on the board at all in the past 2 games now. So looks like they're relegation leaders, perhaps, this year. Lecce going down.
Sure. Them and Como, I would say.
Yeah. This league is shit. We should win it. Possibly. Inter, it might be one of those. Now, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but is it Inter Juve again? Just going at it?
No. I think, to be honest, I think the point total for the winner is going to be lower. It's going to be, I want to say, high 70s, low 80s, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, Napoli had a great Mercato, and now, they only had the one league to, concentrate on, so they're going to be tough this year, especially with Conte. And
they just signed Conte's favorite player, Lukaku, not even a few hours ago.
That is true. That might work out very well for them. When do they play? They play tomorrow, is it?
There's going to be a lot of unknowns in this season, too, because, on one end, you have AC Milan that's got a new coach, so it's going to take some time for them to figure it out. And honestly, still, I think Juventus is still an unknown because you still got to get used to the Malta system. So it's probably likely Inter's favorites because they've been staying consistently with the same coach, the same system. They could have a championship hangover. I don't know, but it's really Inter's like ball to lose. And then with Napoli, I'm not really that afraid of them. Like, I like Conte as a coach, as like he's tough. He's a tough son of a bitch. But the problem is, I think him and ADL are going to butt heads, and he might booed out by next year. Like, he does not become the coach. I don't think him and ADL like can get along whatsoever.
So who takes over then? That's a good hypothetical. Who takes over for Conte in January?
Nobody. Anybody that you want to know who
Allegri.
takes over?
Allegri just
over?
Because fuck it, why not?
No, you don't know who takes over? Somebody that kisses ADL's ass. That's not gonna be very confrontational.
But also has to play a 4-3-3.
Yeah.
Which I'm surprised. Like, Conte is not playing a 4-3-3.
No. He's a 3-man in the back. And if you get Allegri, he's gonna do the same.
So I do have some stuff that Sal dropped for us. Sal again doing the Lord's work here. Nick Semeraro has posted out there saying,
he's been hot the past couple weeks. This guy.
Yeah, I've never heard of him, to be honest with you. He's new this summer. He has posted that Juve have accepted the 13 million proposal by Barcelona, including bonuses. The details right now are saying that the agreement on the contract, it was a 4+2. Chiesa asks for a 5+2. They're trying to meet in the middle at 4.5+2. So more and more likely that it looks like Chiesa will be playing at the Spotify Arena.
The Spotify Camp Nou. Yeah, perhaps.
Is the Camp Nou even built yet? Yeah, I don't
with the project.
I don't think so. I watched Barcelona today.
So sorry. So it's just the Barcelona. Or sorry, the Spotify Stadium. Is that what they're calling it? Just the Spotify Stadium?
It's like the Spotify Stadium Camp Now or something like that. I don't know. It's dumb. Whatever. But then again, it's Barcelona, where your financial advisors are kindergartners. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
why do I look at the comments? No, it's not that bad. Not that bad. I expected worse.
Because, like, for example, this guy is weird, man. Because, like, the Nick guy will sit there and post and be like, "Coop soon," like 3 weeks ago.
Okay, so I don't know. I need to do a bit of a rant though, because I've committed to ranting every episode.
Okay, I love it.
I'm gonna do this. Go ahead. Here, I'll even highlight you now.
Oh boy, that's you.
There you go.
Okay. All right. So here's the problem I've been having. And it's not that it's anything new. We see it all the time.
Like and subscribe.
No, the problem is these. It's not just the journalists. It's everyone. It's the content creators. It's every asshole out there on Twitter, Instagram, whatever. And they're like, "Oh, well, I called it. I knew this was happening. I told you Chiesa was going to Barcelona. Oh, I told you we're getting Conceicao. I told you we're getting Gonzalez. You know, now they're like, Coop's coming up, and they're like doing the cook emoji or the time emoji. It's like, oh, soon, or they'll just put like the emoji, right, without even saying anything.
It's a headache.
It is a fucking headache. It's not like we didn't fucking know. You've been telling us for 3 fucking weeks, man. Oh, and all of a sudden you're fucking Nostradamus? No, you've been telling me for goddamn weeks. Don't stroke yourself off all over the internet and pretend like you just fucking pulled this out of your ass and the news broke fucking 5 minutes ago. No, fuck you guys. Stop acting like you're fucking geniuses. You just report the same fucking shit for 6 weeks straight and then you act like fucking Nostradamus. You can all go fuck yourself. I'm done.
You all right?
Get me out of the big screen.
You feel better now?
I do.
Okay, I'm glad. I'm happy for you.
I'll be honest, like, yeah, I know what you mean. It's like you have Skira, Momblano, the whole 9 yards, and they're just like, it's going to happen. It's happening close. Especially the one with Tolibo pissed me off. It's so close. It's so close. It's so close, and then they just completely drop it off. I'm like, really? I don't understand it. No, I get it, actually. It's just for the clicks, the views. You got to have the clicks. You got to have the views. You got to keep people at suspense.
Yeah, put the fucking ego away, though. Things just drop.
Yeah, that's human nature. You're never going to end ego. There's always going to be ego stroking. You can't do anything about it. But
I just had to get it out. It's been bought. And yes, Larry the Bird. Who the fuck's Larry the Bird?
Momblano.
Is that who that is? I just keep on saying a bird told me. It's like, who the fuck's this? Goddamn, shut up, you fucking bird. Because then there's bird tweets. I just say
birds.
I only heard that on G Just Juve. He's the only one who mentions that guy.
Yeah.
My gosh, yeah. Well, Bolano, sometimes you see him on Twitter, right? Some people will sit there and drop something on it. What was I gonna say? So speaking of Alfredo Padula, Alfredo Padula has said, and this is where I'm going to be funny because we speculated this, and I think earlier in the video, and I think we called it. Juve and Fiorentina have reached a basic agreement for Kostic.
Nice.
Now it is up to the Serbian to decide how much and where so within the next few days. Because we said this, and I just absolutely am going to do it just because Dave went on this rant just to piss him off. We said this because one of the reasons why the Nico Gonzalez deal dropped out of nowhere quickly like this is we had the suspicions that either Artur or Kostic or both were going in the opposite direction. And again, if there's weight to what Alfredo Padula said here, Kostic is going to Fiorentina.
Of course. I mean, it's not that hard. It's like the art of negotiations. Like you have to give something as well. But again, it's like dealing with Rocco Commisso is like dealing with a 5-year-old and a petty man. To me, I just want to choke the guy sometimes. Like it's just slap him.
Let me result of violence.
I don't
even want to ever like negotiate with this guy. I don't know why they do it. It's just the definition of insanity.
So let me throw this because let's throw this into a bigger perspective now. We essentially traded Nico Gonzalez for Moise Kean and Kostic.
And maybe an Arthur. That would be great.
Maybe an Arthur.
But probably not.
Like we've effectively traded 2 of those guys for what we just got. And in my opinion, I think we definitely won that one.
Though there is one thing I will play devil's advocate myself, because if we continue to switch 2 players for 1, our depth chart is going to be very bad as well. And that's also another thing that worries me. Like, especially competing in like multiple competitions, because we're not just going for Serie A and Coppa Italia, so we're going for the Champions League, Super Coppa, and then you got the Club World Cup. So we're gonna need depth. That's my only concern. But other than that, you're not wrong. I do agree with you.
I don't think the expectation is going deep in those competitions this year.
Well, we have an easy path to the Copa. It's pretty much written that we're going to be in the final.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm saying more so the Champions League, right? Like I don't think the expectation is to go all the way in the Champions League.
No, I think we need to get into
the group stage.
Yes,
yeah, just the knockout stages.
Well, as long as we finish in the top, we have 8 matches right there. But if we have to go through that knockout stage just to get in the round of 16, that's 2 more matches.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how this year's edition of the Champions League works because I don't know. It's so freaking weird.
Well,
they changed the song. They changed the branding and the song and everything a little bit too, eh? Not a lot, but they changed it just enough because it's a new format.
We're not fully prepared as a squad right now, so I fully expect UEFA's algorithm to give us like Man City and Barcelona the first 2 match days.
I'll take Barcelona. That's fine.
You know, I'm actually kind of curious how the hell they're going to do the pot selection for this.
I believe it's the seeding, just like they're going to have like slots like 1 through 4, 5 through 8, and like that, and then you get like 1 team out of each pot, 2 teams out of each pot.
Yeah, we're
automatically.
Yeah, I'm curious because, like, for example, it's 1 large table, and then like out of that entire table, you only play 8 of those tables. Like,
it is a little.
In that table.
Yeah, I'm not.
Or 7. I'm sorry. 7.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out. I'm not convinced.
No, it's not even 7. It's not even 7 because you're playing 4 teams. You're playing 3 teams. No, home and away. Or is it 4 teams home and away? Is it 8 1-off?
You play 8 games.
You play 8 games.
Play 8 games. Yeah.
Is it 2 teams home and away?
Yeah.
So it's 8 random, or it's 7 random squads.
No, it's the same teams home and away.
Oh, okay.
Is it? Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Why the fuck get rid of the group stages? What the fuck is this then?
Just so they can have at least 2 more games and get more teams in, make more money. It's all it is. It's just more money.
Makes no fucking sense.
Nah, it does.
It makes sense when you're thinking about trying to make money. That's
yeah. That's the only reason.
It's a business.
Because Tentos is saying it's like 8 random.
So I read.
That's what I thought too.
You're
just picking 8 random teams. Yeah.
I read something I did read something this week. It was from an English source, so I mean, maybe they're wrong. But I'll look into it. I'll let you guys continue on. I'll do some research here.
Yeah. We gotta wait until qualification is done for that shit before we really find out anything.
I'm not even gonna watch a majority of the Champions League. I already know who's gonna win. Like it's gonna be Real Madrid. You have like your squad is loaded. You got your crazy fans. You got the referee. It doesn't matter to me. It's like I already know who wins. I'll watch the Juve games, but that's it.
Okay, I do have the answer. I read it wrong initially, so I will correct myself here. So the group stage, as we knew it, is now gone. Instead, each team that reaches the new league phase will face 8 different opponents. 4 of these games will be played at home, and the other 4 will be take place away. So it is 8 random teams, but it's even with home and away. And so, it's Thursday that they do the draw, so we'll find out pretty soon.
Yeah, but we don't get the actual schedule, I think, for a few days later because they have to, reorganize everything. So I believe September 1st is when they finally set the matches.
Yeah, they got to schedule everything, all the background stuff of booking the stadiums and getting the venues ready. So, yeah, I think you might be right with September 1st as well with that. But Thursday, I don't know. I don't know if I can do that Thursday morning. We'll see. If I can take some time off work, I will stream that one live. If not, then I'm working.
Fair enough.
Can we get a Man City Real final for Man City and Real? Maybe that would be nice. I don't know if they can they cook it? You think they can cook the pots?
No, if that happens, Real Madrid will just park the bus for 90 minutes just to piss off the Man City fans.
And it's gonna be a lot worse for City because you got 2 players in Vinny and Mbappe they're really quick on the transition. And the worst part about it is Mbappe is much better at finishing the ball and putting it in the back of the net than Vinny is. So it's going to be worse than last season. And if they can't beat them from last season, don't expect this season. So
I think this season it might actually be a balanced clash between the two. That I'm not going to lie. If UEFA wants to feed families, make that as a group stage match. I'm dead serious. Make that as a fucking group stage match.
Yeah, that would
actually... you're pretty much guaranteed a trilogy in the knockout stages. Then, if you do it as a group stage match, that's where UEFA needs to if they want to have some kind of equity or win, is they need to stop being a bunch of pansies. Start putting teams like Man City versus Real Madrid in the group stages, or Bayern Munich versus. Well, they already do Bayern Munich versus Barcelona. It's a fucking slugfest. But I'm saying, when you start putting teams like that, where you start putting actual contenders for the whole fucking thing against each other in the group stages, that's how you start getting more interest. Because the one thing that I always had issues with the system that they were using is all of your contenders would be in separate groups, and then you would hope to God that you would see those matchups happen in the semifinal.
What happens usually is I've noticed this pattern a lot in the previous formats where the best teams would meet up in the quarterfinals, semifinals, and then it would be an underdog that does well, an unexpected, you would see either a Villarreal, a Dortmund, Ajax, and then they would shit the bed by semifinals or finals. And to me, it's I already know what's going to happen. When I was watching the Real and Dortmund match, people were like, "Oh man, Dortmund has a chance." I'm like, "No, they don't. They're going to try. They're going to try hard to score, but they're going to be too nervous. They're going to choke, and then Real's going to come back and hit them with a goal or two."
I think it's disingenuous to say that they didn't, right? They pressed and they did what they could for 60. They just didn't score. For example,
exactly because they choked. They choked.
Oh, I know, but
you're going up against a 15-time European champion. It's hard.
Nobody really expected them to win. That was a hard match any day.
No, you're right. The expectation wasn't for them to win, but they did go for it.
They did. Yeah. They did. I still thought they were going to choke. That's the difference. Like, it's just to execute. It's hard to execute in the finals. The pressure like mounts up on you. Whereas Real Madrid players are used to that pressure. When you become used to it, you perform better. You don't have that stress killing you. Whereas a team that just made it once every 10 years is going to be a lot harder. It mounts up, and the experience matters.
From what I hear, in the knockout stages, they're going to be doing seeding sort of like how they do like in the NBA and NHL with the final standing. So, the one's going to face the 16, 2 versus the 15. I think the whole draw's over with now.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm just used to that method because I do watch the North American sports. It gives you an excuse to not just like get across the line, to actually go out and perform to seed yourself better. So I'm down for that.
Vlad, I mean, was that third game with the U.S. and Serbia not good at all? That game was awesome.
Yeah, and 10 toes down saying if Ediemi hits that shot, who knows how that game's end. Yeah, there was chances.
I still think they come back. I don't know. Like I don't know. They just pull magic out of their ass. Like they'll score 2 goals in 2 minutes. I don't know. Just Real just pull some bullshit. That's how it is.
Well, that's we're back in the Champions League, so that's step 1. That's something to be excited about just in itself. 8 teams. I mean, some of those are going to be easy. Some of those are going to be hard. How many do you think you have to win? What do you think because we don't know this format. How many points on average do you think it's going to take to move on to the next round?
Win as many as you can. Take advantage of all the teams that you could possibly beat. Tie with the bigger clubs. But yeah, that's really it. I just think like get as many points as possible and try to get to the top 5.
So it's 8 matches. So that's a possible 24 points. I'm going to say like you could probably squeak in with 12 points. But you'd want to like aim for 16. That's just my quick.
No, I think you need 18.
I was thinking this. I was on that
like
ball
straight. Like if you want to make straight playoff without having to go through like the qualification phase, like you need higher than 18.
For straight playoffs, yeah.
Yeah, you have to finish in the top 8, to qualify automatically. Otherwise, 9 through 24 have to pay that one playoff round. So I would say to definitely qualify, we might need out of 8 matches at least 15 points.
Mm-hmm. 15, 18 points. I think at least for me 18, at most 20.
Yeah, I mean we're gonna face 2 teams that are in a higher pot than us. So if you could come out with at least 4 points there, that's good. But then you have to win at least every other match and maybe draw 2 of them. That would be my scenario, and you could possibly qualify there with 15 points.
For me, as long as we don't draw Real or Man City, I'm not as worried about the other teams. It doesn't bother me too much.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Arsenal or any of them.
No. I've never been worried about Arsenal. To me, it's just Arsenal is always the bark no bite club.
They did kill us in 06 though, and that was probably one of our best squads we had.
So this is just coming in from Vlad, and I have confirmed the news is in. Nico Gonzalez has arrived in Turin. He says landed. He didn't fly there, man. It's just down the road. No, I don't just say it. Yeah, but Nico has arrived. So that's positive. He's going to have his medicals tomorrow. And since Conceicao has to come in from Portugal, he'll arrive tomorrow and have the medicals on Monday. Yeah, that's a dude running down the street after a car.
Jesus.
That's the gate to the Conte Nasa.
Good God.
It's just a view that we don't normally see.
Yeah, it's just I mean, if there wasn't a caption to this, it's like, what's going on, man? Some guy chasing a car.
Oh, I know.
That's why I didn't post it. Like, really? This is
some guy in Florida. There you go.
Yeah, so some guy in bath salts chasing after cars.
I'm more like this is a drunk guy in Miami, just like walking around South Beach, 450 shots of tequila.
Yeah, I was actually watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine the other night, and it's when they're in Florida. Have you watched that show?
What is that again?
I've seen
Brooklyn
it a couple
Nine-Nine?
of times. I always would catch the last 10 minutes of it before Family Guy came on.
There you go. Yeah. Anyways, they have to go on witness protection or whatever in Florida, and they just spend the whole episode just trashing Florida, or like the 3 episodes straight trashing Florida. And I find it hilarious. And my wife was like, "Why do Americans always trash Florida? Is it that bad?" And I just look at her. I'm like, "Yeah."
You know what tells me this place has a lot of potential, but our retirees are fucking this place up.
Where in Florida do you live at?
The Tampa Bay area.
Yeah, that and the whole Fort Lauderdale area is nice, but the rest of it's like the deep south, basically.
Yes. Like, it's okay. The nice parts in Florida, it would be like Tampa, Orlando, if you're going for theme parks. If you're a theme park person, Orlando. Miami's like basically for Latin nights. I think it's a very overrated place for me. I think Miami is not all that as it comes out to be. And then the rest is just backwoods shit.
Yeah, Fort Lauderdale's now the hot spot there.
It's not bad, yes. Oh, yeah, Naples, Florida is actually a really nice place. It's on the west coast of Florida. Yes, that place is really nice. And that would be another one. So, yeah.
Yeah, Florida's the only place I'd really like to go to out in the USA outside of, leaving Philadelphia.
For sure. So
is this the part of the show now where we're just moving into the trash Florida and talk about catch-up phase?
I'll say, I don't know. I was going to say what is next after all these players that we decide to get. My thing is, what would be the next piece to buy in the next Mercato, whether that is the winter or the summer?
It's going to be kind of hard to say for January. Like that's going to be dependent on injuries, availability.
Would you say a proper fullback?
Yeah, somewhere in the defensive zone or an actual number 9. We'll see as we discuss, not to rehash it, but we don't have a true out and out number 9. We have wingers, we have 10s that can kind of rotate through. So I wouldn't mind seeing a proper backup there either, especially if Milik does leave.
Who would okay, so we get rid of Milik, like who would be the proper replacement to like the sub? What would you guys have in mind? Because this is the one part that like I haven't really been following too much for a proper number 9 or like a substitute number 9. We said Morata, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, everyone's gone. Everyone that I was thinking of is gone. So
yeah, so it has to be. My thing would be it would have to be somebody from next gen, or it would have to be somebody that is experienced but is capable of playing for like the last 20 minutes.
Well, we already loaned Cherry out, so now it's only Mancini that's left from the next gen as far as a striker goes.
Yeah, I would say it would have been nice to have Retegui, but as a substitute player. But I'm thinking somebody maybe like a older player that's content to being a substitute.
Well, you also have to remember, who knows, in January perhaps you have some player who's bitching about not getting playing time anymore, and perhaps maybe he wants to make a January move to a Champions League team if we make the knockout stages, and we could get someone like that. I mean, I can't give you any names, you never know, but you always have disenfranchised players. They want to take a move, and the team might just want to offload them quick. And there's no more cup tie anymore either, so you don't even have to worry about that if it's a quality player from a good team.
Lewandowski, is he even available? Would Barca sell him?
With Lewandowski would be the salary, and he's probably one of the players that I think like can talk like that. Probably would like compensate, for a high salary, like that would demand it, and I would say that's fine. Other players, I wouldn't care. Like if Chiesa demanded a high salary, I'd be like, fuck off.
Who knows? Maybe a mobile he won't like Turkey, and we could get him in January.
No, honestly, as a sub, that would be great. I wouldn't have an issue with the mobile. But again, I don't know if it's going to work the Malta system. I think, for me, again, with the Vice Vlahovic situation, I see Kenan playing as like the false nine role. That's just, I don't know why. It's just coming in my head. If he made it work with Zirkzee, obviously they're different profile players. I just, for some reason, I'm willing to just see that as an experiment, just to see Kenan play that false nine if he can do it.
Dahl is starting the Mauro Icardi rumors again.
Well, if we're gonna listen, if Icardi does become a Juve player, you guys have to make a merchandise that says "Hide your wives."
Well, yeah,
I think there's
McKennie
gonna be
back too.
Yeah, he's gonna bring a lot of drama, a lot of shirt ideas if he comes.
Yeah, I mean, Wanda's a demon. Wanda Nara's a demon, made from the depths of hell, and I'm not even religious.
Well, I mean, she controls him like a master, so she must have the greatest pussy ever or something.
Toxicity. Toxic women are very that can be very manipulative.
Bacardi? You mean Berardi or Bacardi?
I mean, he plays like he's on Bacardi. So it's like, whatever.
Yeah, Icardi is actually an interesting take because he's 31. He is at that age. He probably would be affordable.
But the problem is, can he play as a 9 or as a vice 9 or a false 9? Like, actually, somebody pointed out Raspadori. That's, again,
that's who I would
doable.
like. As far as a winger goes, I was hoping we could get him because he's versatile. He could play all over.
Mm-hmm.
He shoots from outside the box a lot. He creates a lot of rebound chances, but apparently, Napoli wants him, so they didn't want to part. And Chiesa wasn't going to do that swap because they're not a Champions League squad, so that was pretty much squashed.
I just want to get the Chiesa saga over. I'm done with it. I don't want to talk about him anymore. I'm like, whatever.
I'm pretty done. I want to laugh at him like I laugh at De Ligt. All in hindsight.
For what I've learned with these lessons with the Chiesa De Ligt, on one end, I think player agency can be very, very bad. Like, it can be a toxic thing because like agents want to demand money. So they take players in situations and clubs that are just not good for them. And sometimes for agents, they might need to bite their bullet a little bit to put them in a better team so they can develop better. So then when they move to the right proper club, say to a PSG or a Real Madrid, they can make a bigger, much more money. Like, you shouldn't complain saying, oh, I'm only made 1 million instead of 7. Like, $1 million is still a lot of money. So to me, it's stupid. But I can't say much more to that. So
more funny comments. Dash doesn't want the Chiesa saga to end. No, he loves it. He can't get enough of it.
No, it's fine. The thing is, I just don't want to come to the show and say the same things that I think about Chiesa. That's all. That's my whole thing about it. I'm done for that matter. That's why. He's just a caveman. He plays caveman football.
Don't forget Rabiot. I have forgotten about Rabiot. I'm sorry. I've moved on. But he's another one lingering. Another one we can look back on as well. Chiesa at Atalanta in 6 years when he's 32.
They like young players, so I doubt that.
No, that's an Inter. He'll be an Inter guy at 33. But Fali Ramadani's a good agent. I think this is all Chiesa. Can't control his ego. That's kind of his job, though. Ramadani's job is to.
I think in any agent is sometimes like, look, even like me, if I'm working in real estate, for example, and I got to represent a buyer or seller, and if their demands are just delusional, I just walk away. Sometimes you just got to walk away. You're just like, fuck this. This is not going to work out. Like, you're Delulu. You're a lunatic. Like, you can't come in here as a player. Like, if I'm Fali Ramadani saying Chiesa wants 9 million a year salary like Dusan because Arriva Bene screwed up. Like, you're not going to do that with Gintoli, especially with a guy that his agenda is to buy quality players with a lower salary. Like, you should have known that. and then you go betting on yourself and then expecting like other clubs to pay $9 million when you haven't offered anything to the table. No goals, no assists, no shot creation, and no defensive work. Like you haven't created anything, just an attitude problem with some decent potential talent that you might have. But you have to, for him to be good, he needs to change his attitude and swallow his pride. So
Why? Running in circles with this key is the thing.
That's why I don't like talking about it.
I know.
That's genuinely why.
We've actually done pretty good today. We've just glossed over him a little bit, so let's not digress.
No.
It's not worth it. Not good for the mental health.
Actually, hey, what do you guys think about Mbangula? Like, do you guys think he will get more chances to play? What's your guys' take on that?
Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. But he will with the smaller teams, I think.
Coppa Italia.
He can only get so many chances because I believe if you make too many first team appearances, you're automatically disqualified from playing for next gen.
Mm-hmm.
So they can only give him so many.
What was that number? I can't remember. 15?
No, I think it's a little higher, maybe like 25, 30.
Maybe. Yeah. 25 sounds right as well. I'll have to look that up. See if I can find it. And who said salary? KB's laughing at somebody because he said celery, not salary.
Wait,
here trolling.
Chiesa for $25 million a year?
What?
Wait, you said $25 million a year?
No. For how many? There's a certain amount of like if you're next gen player, there's a certain amount of matches that you can play, and once you hit that limit, you have to go. You are part of the first team. Like Moretti hit that last year, so he wasn't able to go back. It's like 15 or 25.
Yeah, I understand it. I think with this guy, my opinion would be either put him back in next gen, or by January loan him out to a team where he can get more continuity to play like second division. You can play like in the second division or even in the first division, like play with a bottom 3 team.
He's going to get chances. I mean, we have so many matches. I can't see him not at least appearing at least 20 times during the course of the season, along with playing in next gen. So he's definitely going to get the experience.
I think so. Yeah. The only thing is that like now he got a whiff of playing first division and then now going back to third division. I just think that, and on top of that, we're going to have like wingers, like we're going to have a lot of influx of wingers, and I don't know where he's going to fit the playing time when he's going to get the actual playing time.
He's our
That's
new
my
number 9.
only concern.
Yeah, that's why I don't understand why we would pay money for Sancho when he's going to be competing for a spot too. And, that heavy price tag, it doesn't make sense to me.
I'm not – okay, I wouldn't lose sleep over Sancho, but I wouldn't be getting mad over it either. I like the player. I think he's got like a fight in him. He's a good player. Like Sancho has it, and maybe Malta can bring the best out of him. It's like I just wouldn't lose sleep. He's not one of the players. Same thing with Nico Gonzalez. But I like the idea of Conceicao. Like I just think I see something in him that he could be a gem. Like I think he's one of the hidden gems.
Yeah, I liked him in the Euro.
Absolutely. Could I be wrong? Could he flop? Yes. Anything could happen. Because like I just see a guy with a lot of potential, really good dribbling abilities, and with a guy like in playing in a Malta system could be very, very like beneficial. So to me, he could be a gem. He could be one of those players we get for 30 million. He could perform well and then sell him for 80 million. So
let's not forget any of these guys could be a flop because they don't have Serie A experience aside from Cabal, Kalulu, and obviously Nico.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, like Nico, I wasn't going to lose sleep, but I guess we need a depth. So, and I get why they did it. So it's like you have a guy in Italy, and you need the experience of playing the league.
Because you need an established player.
Yeah, you need it. Whereas like Sancho, again, yeah, he's good, but he hasn't played in Italy. He's established himself in Germany very well, but not in Italy.
Yeah, neither have Thuram or Douglas Luiz either. So we already have enough guys on there without any Serie A experience, and we have a young squad. So you need someone like Nico Gonzalez, so at least bring some kind of experience, continuity, and he's not going to be a bust.
The only negative is with obviously what my take is when it comes to trying to buy players in Italy is the owners. It's like dealing with a 5-year-old. You're dealing with pettiness. It's hard to negotiate with Rocco Camiso or like majority of the clubs, and it's a headache. And that's the problem, because what I think it is, I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. What I see is a bunch of teams in Italy that are like, they're trembled at the idea that Juve could win another 9 in a row. I don't think that would ever happen again, but they could win 3 in a row, 4 in a row. And the fact of Juventus succeeding destroys their ego. It kills them on the inside.
Well,
so
yeah,
they would make it as absolutely harder to sell the players to Juve.
you have to remember though, coat miners is a hot commodity. Like, we're not talking about, you know, the deals for Cabal, Kaulu, and Di Gregorio. They went very smoothly. We're talking about a guy who's, you know, basically a world-class player.
You know, and I want to say yes, but the thing is, I haven't seen any other club like going deep in for coat miners either, like other than Liverpool. That's all I've heard that has went for coat miners.
Because it's a lot of money. And that's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
problem is coat miners. You know, he's a dynamic player, but the other squads aside from Juve, they already have players like him. Mm-hmm. So he really only has, you know, very few options of teams that he would go to, and Juve was obviously the only option for him.
It's the perfect option. So yeah.
I can't wait. That's the next thing. Like, I want Chiesa to be done. I want Coop to be gone. After that, whatever. I mean, if Jaden comes, cool. If we throw the Shilio off to Monza or so, whatever. I don't care.
Well, I think reports have it with the Shilio's contract is to be terminated.
Yeah, that's what it's looking at right now, because nobody can pay DeShilio $1.5 million. Anybody that would buy DeShilio can't afford.
Or anybody with the right brain cell wouldn't pay him $1 million. That's why.
He's not. Well, he is injury prone. That's a problem. Exactly. But he's fine for a lower table team. If he goes to Monza, yeah, that's fine. Good for him. I mean, he needs to play. I know some guys like Perlin are fine, or Pinsolio even, just like being a Juve guy and just collecting $500,000 a year just to hang out.
That's awesome. I know I've heard a lot that people say that like it hurts your ego, but I'm like, I mean, look, here's the thing. It's like, if that's the case, then walk away and go prove yourself. If not, that means you're content.
Yeah. And that's okay. Some people are just happy doing that.
I'll be happy. I'll be happy too.
Perrine could definitely start on at least, you know, one of the, you know, mid-table teams. I don't understand his logic staying there, but I mean, he is a good backup. We definitely are going to need to give Di Gregorio a rest with all the matches we have, and you know, it works out that he's staying here.
I think though with Perrine is the whole thing, the whole idea with Perrine is probably what he's seen is like that Club World Cup probably played a role, meaning like the extra matches means that he could have more continuity to play as a rotational piece. That he could probably have a Coppa Italia starting in the Coppa Italia matches, and then Di Gregorio can start in the league and then the Champions League, and the vice versa. Yeah, or maybe like he could also have the Supercoppa. That's one of these things.
If I'm not mistaken, the last 3 seasons, Perrine played every single Copa match.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's great. I've always said that he's the best backup that you can have. He's great.
No, he's a very good backup. I like Perrine. Like, to me, he does the job. It's kind of like even with Rugani. I think Rugani was a great backup too. He did a lot of. He was very positive, professional, and when it came down to play, he showed up and did his job, and that's good. With Milik, I would have liked Milik. I mean, I've criticized Milik a lot of times in the past, but like if for him as a rotational player, like to come in for every 20 minutes and play and just play really hard and try to bag a goal and just be a problem for like the 20 minutes of the last game, that's fine too. But for him as a starter, I don't see that happening.
All right, guys. Is there anything else? Because I don't want to beat this horse because we're gonna come back as it happens. We're gonna deep dive on a couple of these like we've alluded to. But before I just like kick you guys all out here, I mean, Eddie might need to make another drink. I don't know, but no. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to bring up before we kill this and move on and look forward to Monday?
Where are you from?
I'm from Philadelphia.
Nice.
It's good, man. I know you guys are hockey fans and all that. So my Flyers. Last time they won a Stanley Cup was 3 months before I was born. So I mean, whether you're from a Tampa Bay or a Panther fan, you have more success than me.
So the thing is like, I live in Tampa, but I'm originally Albanian. So I immigrated here at a very young age. So like when I was 9 or 10. So yeah.
I almost guessed it right. I was off by a couple years, but
right.
The last Flyers Cup. I mean, the Flyers are a good team. They're tough. They're one of the teams that you hate because they're always fucking with you.
It's like the Bizarro Juve to me because Juve always had a goalie in my lifetime, and the Flyers haven't had one since '87 with Hextall.
Hextall, yeah, fuck. Going back. I love how there's more hockey fans kind of rolling in here too. Some people probably hate it, I'm sure. They're like, what's this hockey thing?
The Flyers have a very passionate fan base. Like back in the 90s, we missed the playoffs 5 straight years, and every game was still sold out.
That is pretty impressive.
And you have to remember how hard it was to miss the playoffs back in the early 90s. Like only 4 teams missed.
Yeah, that's true. The league was a lot smaller back then.
I mean, we're like a paradox because clearly, we're as hot as hell a state. It's a super hot state. Yeah, we just do well in the hockey. But I'm not a big follower of hockey, but I should. I think it's a lot more entertaining than baseball. I've had friends try to invite me to baseball games, and I told them you can pay me $1 million and I will not watch baseball.
Baseball's huge in Florida, too.
It is, yeah. Tampa Bay has got a solid team, but I don't watch it.
But just like all the the preseason, the whole preseason happens in Florida
and Arizona.
Is it Arizona? Okay, because that's probably I just followed the Jays more so when they're always in Florida. So
Tampa. So in Tampa, Florida, I think it's the Phillies. The Phillies, the baseball team goes to Clearwater, Florida.
Yeah,
it's like 10 minutes away from where I live. Is ironically it.
Really?
It's like next to college, St. Petersburg College. And it's right next to soccer fields. And some of those soccer fields, the unironic thing is that it was also preseason training for the MLS teams. I saw Toronto and Montreal, and I seen Drogba from like walking distance, and Giovinco and Michael Bradley. But this was like years ago.
Yeah, that would have been like 10 or so years ago.
Yeah, it was a while back, like in 2015. So that was a really cool event.
So Vlad's saying, I don't know this reference. Why are you a proud Oilers fan since this year? I know they made it to the finals. Is there something I missed? It's got to be something sexual. Why else would Vlad be into the Oilers of all things?
I'm just glad Vlad is back. I'm just glad. And it's like he went MIA. So
maybe someone from his country once played for there.
Maybe. I lived in Edmonton for 9 years. The city itself is not great. Like the area, like outside the city is great, but not the city.
They have that big mall, though. Apparently,
the big what?
Mall.
The mall.
Oh, like a shopping mall.
Yeah, isn't it like the biggest in the world or something like that?
Oh, that one. Which state is it? The tri-state.
Is it Minnesota?
Minnesota. That's where it is. Yeah. The Mall of America. That's the biggest one now.
I think so. Yeah, it's in. Is that in Minneapolis?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or I don't know. I had a cousin of mine in Milwaukee told me about it. That's why.
Let's see, Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just a mall. Like having a big mall. No, nobody cares. It's a mall.
I don't care. I've never cared about shopping malls now, especially like we live in the age of online Amazon, online delivery. Like it was the weirdest thing because like I had people like waiting in line for Black Friday shoppers like all day. And it's just like, why? You just get it online. And it's like still the same price. It's still like 30% off, and people are waiting in line like lunatics, beating the crap out of each other for Beats headphones. I've seen it with my own eyes. That's true story.
That's one of my favorite days of the year when it's Black Friday and I can go watch all the YouTube highlights of all the fights breaking out.
The best fights are the ones in Walmart.
Oh, yeah, Walmart special.
Shit.
I mean, I shop at Walmart because it's close, but oh man, what an adventure!
I would not go to Walmart. No.
Yeah, I went there 3 times in my life because I needed like some kind of like adhesive tape that they only carried, and twice my car was hit there in the parking lot. Oh, I avoid that place.
I boycotted it for a few years, but the one that was close to my home was just like especially bad. Now Vlad's saying the flashing lady. I just looked this up. There was an Oilers fan, a lady that right in the middle of the crowd showed her tits. So good for her. I missed that. I was on the road. I was catching the games in my hotel room at night, but I totally missed the boobs. I don't know how I missed the boobs. So Vlad, thank you. You're always doing the Lord's work, keeping us up to date on everything that matters. So thank you for that.
And memes, yes.
All about the memes. All right. Dash is the quietest I have seen him.
Yes.
He's buying a house. He's probably house shopping right now.
Shh. Don't want to jinx it. Damn it, Dave.
Oh, is that you jinxed up? Go on. You got a real estate agent right here anyways. I'm sure he can give you some pointers.
No, it's pretty much done dusted. But I don't think there's anything else. I was scanning the webs to see if anything popped up out of nowhere, but I think we are in the clear for the next 24 hours.
No, it has died down, thankfully, today. What was the latest? I saw a Saudi club has shown interest in Arthur. That's the end of the news for the evening. And hopefully I wake up to Coop. No, I won't. I will not. It's Sunday. It's Italy. Everyone's going to church. All right, guys. Any last words?
Oh, it was great to finally be on this show. So hopefully I'll call back in another time. I'll be more prepared. My iPad was out of juice, so I had to use my phone the whole time. It kept falling down.
Oh, that's what was going on. All right. Yeah, I mean, you figure it out as you go. It was nice having it.
I had to hold it. I had to keep it in place with my gun here because that's the only thing heavy enough to keep it.
Don't be flashing your gun on the.
That's just gangster shit right there, man.
Well, I live in Philly. We have 600 murders a year here. It's necessary to have one.
Understood.
Now I have to click that thing on YouTube that says that there was firearms in the video.
Sorry.
Man.
All right. No, it's all fun. That's it's part of the randomness. It's part of the fun. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Please do like and subscribe. We're at 1979. I told you guys I'd do a shot of catch up if you got us to 2000. It's still on the table. I'll hate myself for days afterwards, but I'll do it for you guys.
All right.
All right, Dash.
All right.
Let's rock this one out, Dash. Well, and thank you, everyone, Jeff and Eddie, for joining us tonight.
Yeah,
Dash,
it was a pleasure. All right, take care.
Take care.
All right. Sounds good. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to this one. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're new. Obviously, subscribe if you're not new. Make sure you throw on the old like. Tomorrow, we're going to be covering the Netherlands Grand Prix. So we'll be doing a post race on that. And then stay tuned. We will be working. We just got to wait on the schedule. But we will be doing the Conceicao and the Gonzalez video. Maybe a twofer. I think. Maybe. Possibly. But we'll do that, and then obviously when Coop comes out, we'll do a Coop video as well. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we shall see you on the next one.
Forza Juve. Forza Juve. See ya maybe tomorrow, maybe Monday, definitely Monday. Just stay tuned, guys. It's getting hot. Thanks for joining. Like and subscribe.
Thank you.